I was any better, I'd be you.
All right, awesome. Could you guys hear okay through the headsets?
Crystal
You can,
clear, baby.
are you? All right, good, good.
I
Because
I cannot.
you cannot.
I can hear you.
Oh, good. Well, that's the most important thing. is
But
that
can
we
you
can
hear me?
Oh,
I can hear
you.
you now.
I can hear
Oh,
you
so
fine.
that's all we need.
Yeah. Now, can you hear me? Can you hear you?
Can you hear me?
All right.
Oh, we
Awesome.
can hear
Yeah,
you.
Okay.
You
We
sound
can all
incredible.
hear me. We can all hear
Awesome.
me now.
Awesome. Great. It's fantastic. We just had to touch up the volume. I love how every week it seems like I start the show the exact same way. You would think by now I'd know how to use this panel. Okay. So hello and happy Monday, everyone. Happy Monday. Thank you so very much for tuning in to 98.3 FM The Life. You're listening to Bacon Bits with Master Happiness. And of course, I'm your host, Marty Jalove. I normally come at you every week at 7 o'clock. Today at 6 o'clock, a little bit early. We really took this daylight savings time to heart and just we're driving it home very early today. No, I'm just joking. Stop laughing, everybody.
Marty, you card. Oh, you've done it again.
So Rusty needed the hour. We're swapping a little bit. He's covering some high school basketball, I believe, a little bit later. So stay tuned in 7 o'clock, 7:30, and Rusty will fill you in on why he's coming in a little late. But it's going to be an exciting show hosted by Rusty later. So anyway, you are here with Bacon Bits with Master Happiness. This show is all about your job, your career, your vision made clear, the skills that you hone for the business that you own, the ups and downs, the smiles and frowns, where you're at and where you're bound. If you miss any of today's episodes, just tune in later in the week. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, find Bacon Bits with Master Happiness and listen to the recorded version. Plus, dig back. This is actually, guys, did you know this is my 5th season doing this?
That's
seasons.
incredible,
Wow,
Marty.
Yeah,
Time flies when you're having fun.
You know it. You know it. It's. I looked at it. It's about 250 episodes, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. So quite a few episodes. And so all types of topics, but kind of happiness based topics and a lot of business related topics. The last couple of years have been more focused on business, whereas the first couple of years was all happiness based. So it's melding it together. And of course, I love having you guys on the show because what we talk about here this year
Mhm.
is the legends of leadership, legends in leadership. Nothing to do with the book that I have here, which
Of course
is
not.
Manage Monkeys, Lead Lions, available on Amazon.com.
What a read.
Yes, yes. I love it because you guys both say it so honestly. And what's your favorite part of the book?
The index.
Nice, nice.
I would have to say page 76.
Nice. Oh, really? Really? All right. Good to know. I'm not going to ask you what's on page
We'll later
76.
discover what whatever
what
that
Nate's
is.
talking about. All right, but that's all right. I just want you someday you'll read the book. But anyway, today is going to be interesting. This is March, so this is the 3rd episode. I get together with my boys, Nate and Luke and Nick, all of them right on the air here to talk about leadership this year. So last year we talked about the legends of sales. This year we're talking about great leaders. And last month in February we talked about Joan of Arc. January, we did Marcus Aurelius. And at the end of last month's show, I asked these guys who would they would like to talk about. And Luke said Shaka Zulu.
Yeah.
And I thought it was kind of, it's funny sounding at first because I was like, wow, what are you talking about? But then as we dug into this, found out this guy, Shaka Zulu, was an incredible leader, an absolutely incredible leader. So that's what we're going to talk about today is Shaka Zulu. And hopefully, aside from us, the three of us learning from each other, hopefully you, the listener, is going to learn a little bit about the history of Shaka Zulu and how he conquered and really became almost, I'm going to call him the emperor of South Africa in his time. But then also as young leaders and successful leaders, what we can learn from the way that he built the Zulu nation, what we can learn from him, become better leaders.
Dad, sorry.
Yeah,
Just real quick. Sorry, this is
do not
another
be sorry.
quick technical thing.
Yes.
Are you sure today is Shaka Zulu?
Yeah.
Because I didn't know it was Shaka Zulu.
I
today.
thought that we had agreed that it was going to be someone else today.
I thought it was going to be a legendary salesman and leader.
Someone far more legendary when it comes to
Someone that
leadership and
honestly would
business.
put these other
Lord.
legendary salesmen and
Lord.
leaders to shame.
Oh my God!
Oh,
who
yeah.
were you guys thinking?
None other than
I mean, who else could it be? But
the master of happiness himself.
the legendary Marty Jalove.
Marty Jalove,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh, that's just absolutely wonderful.
I mean, it is March 9th after
Yeah,
all.
it is.
And so
It
what
is.
better way to spend the March 9th show than talking about the legendary salesman himself?
So as much as I would love to honor Shaka Zulu,
Right.
but I've got all of this prepared for Marty Jalove. 'cause
right,
I thought
we're
we were
gonna
doing the
have to
Marty.
circle back.
Now we were doing the
I
Marty
think
Jalove show
people are
tonight.
gonna
Yeah.
have to tune back in
Yeah, maybe
in April to hear about Shaka Zulu
Oh, we're
because
going to do Marty Jalove
we
today.
just couldn't
That's
possibly talk about
Wow.
him when we would rather talk about Marty
This
Jalove.
is really
Yes.
interesting because I did not do any research on this guy.
Excellent.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's a lot of it's intuitive, and I think if you really dig deep,
Yeah,
you're gonna probably relate to him a
All
lot.
right. Well, you know what, Nate, since you're going to be on the camera a little bit more, I want you to maybe move that mic because right now all we see is the mic and a little bit of you behind.
Right. Yeah.
That's so
Is
much
it?
better.
There it is.
There
Look
you
at
go.
that.
There you
Now I
go.
look like a natural.
All right. So fantastic. I love this. What a great surprise. What a great birthday surprise. I couldn't imagine a better. I was thinking, oh, this is great. I get to spend the birthday on the air with my boys here. And now what?
And now
what an
one step
interesting surprise.
What one step
All right.
better. You can talk about yourself on your birthday. Incredible.
You know I don't like talking about
Oh,
myself.
I know. It's your least favorite thing.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
you?
Yeah. Little old you? Never.
I scraped facts together. So.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. We're going to take these notes, right? We're going to throw those notes away, right? We're going to figure this out. All right. All right. So beautiful, beautiful. So I'm going to open up the discussion here, Luke. Since the camera,
Of course,
luck of the roll, the camera's on you. I want to hear how we're going to start this discussion on leadership.
So yeah, we'll get to the bacon later.
Yeah.
First, I want to go over Marty Jalove and the basics of him if you don't know who he is. So he had many jobs over the course of his life. He's a career guy. He loves to dip his toes into different pools. The first job,
He's a toe dipper.
do you know off the top of your head, Nate, what Marty's first job was?
Was it selling magazine subscriptions or was that down the line?
I think that was his technical first employment, but
Right.
what he always calls his first job is selling was out of his high school locker.
Oh man,
Is that correct?
Good. Yeah. I would go along with it. Yes.
And then you'd say magazine subscriptions was
That was down the line because you got to throw in the flea market in there.
yes, that's right.
You know, I mean, you can go back further. I was terrible. I was a failure at a paper route.
Oh, but that's not a job. That's your passion.
That's right. Yeah, there you go. Wow.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I would always hear all of these stories about Marty Jalove, the master of happiness.
Not a master.
And I think what you'll learn is that the brand he eventually accumulated over many years was one of this person who knows much but laughs about more almost. He's a very positive figure. You see him as this wise figure, don't get me wrong, but I think the important part of his brand is that he's wise, but he is also humorous. He takes it, in stride.
Wow.
He's a very positive figure, and that we will get into that when we go over my bacon, which I prepared. But
I'm
I wanted to say, Marty.
Yes. Here.
Oh,
I'm here.
Yeah,
I'm here.
yes.
The Marty Jalove. Yeah, we have him here.
Yes.
Now, Marty, can I just ask, what's a pivotal moment in your young professional development that you think has absolutely made or broken the difference in your current professional development?
Wait, that pushed me into what I'm currently doing.
Let me just say, take it as you will, but I'm looking for a moment from when you were young and entering the workforce that sticks with you, a moment that sticks with you now as you're more cushioned in your position right now.
I think there's been a couple of different times in my life that once in the flea market, once when I was selling subscriptions on the phone, okay, and once when I was a graphic designer turned marketer, that somebody out of the blue came to me and talked to me directly and said they saw something in me that I didn't see. I just assumed everyone was the same and I wasn't doing anything special. But a leader came to me that I respected and pulled something out of me and said, you are really, really good at this. I need you to do this next step. And I didn't see that in myself. So that has happened to me multiple times in my life. And those were important times in my life that pushed me to that next level.
That's great. And do you think it was more important that he saw something special in you, or do you think it was more important that at that moment where you did not feel special about yourself, you were given that push to feel a feeling towards yourself that you had not felt before?
Oh.
This honor.
Yeah, completely. I think it was one thing to hear it, but then these people were so clear that made me really look in the mirror and say, "Oh, I'm different than other people." Right.
Yes.
And so it was their nudge, their push that made me feel that way, where I stood out and I was like, I didn't see that in myself. I just took, or the thing I took it for granted. And they were the ones that pointed out, saying, no, that's not something that's not a talent or a gift or an ability that everyone has. That makes you special.
And what I'd say is especially special about that story, I'm saying the word special a lot.
Yeah, that's quite a, that's makes you special.
Is that I think what those older figures did to him when he was young reminds me a lot of what Marty Jalove does to people nowadays, where he tries to help them see what's special about them.
Right.
Tries to bring out what's notable about them.
It's all about
agree?
finding your inner bacon, right?
Yes.
I mean, and that's it. He is such a positive influence and such an encourager. And I think that's part of why his brand has grown and why people gravitate towards him, because people like to feel good about themselves. But the way that Marty does it, it's not this fake, disingenuous way. Like when people come to him and reach out to him for his help, he helps them build and grow and unlock what's inside of them all along, but maybe they didn't see it, but he sees it in them and then just helps them expand on it and kind of flourish from there. And it's so cool to watch.
Absolutely. I think that's what's so inspiring about it.
Right.
Wouldn't you agree? I'm sorry, I forget your name.
Yeah. I was like laughing over here. I like listening to you guys talking like I'm not in the room. And every once in a while I'm going, did I die? And this is my funeral. And because you guys are doing a great job at my eulogy. I just want to let you know.
Yeah, this is the ghost of Christmas yet to come.
Yes,
seeing
nice.
the future. Yeah. Well, all right. I suspect this is maybe a little earlier, but I feel like a lot of the points I have in place are tied to my bacon. So I feel like I might just get into the bacon now.
Let's do it.
Now, this is not ordinary bacon.
Oh, no.
Right, Nate? It's not the bacon for chewing.
Oh, no, Luke. It is the bacon for doing.
Oh, yes, of course. It is the B.A.C.O.N. Lessons we can learn in business from the acronym BACON as applied to the career of Master Happiness, Marty Jalove. Now, you yourself, you're a bit of a baconster. You've been making these acronyms. You've probably made somewhere around like
about 250.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's been, this is the fifth season. Yeah.
And have you just made it for radio shows? I feel like you've also made
I've done plenty for
isolated
businesses.
ones.
Correct.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you've made millions of
millions. Sure.
That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
You've made,
An uncountable number
let's
of
call it a
bacon acronyms.
gazillion.
Yeah.
So
you've made 10 or 12 bacons
Yes.
over the course of your career. Do you have any idea what I'm going to say for your B?
Wow. Brilliant.
Marty,
No, actually,
Marty,
actually
always
bashful.
the modest one.
I'm a bashful.
Yeah.
Actually put bahumble.
Yeah.
Humble.
No, for B, I did the classic U trick where I made it not a B at all.
Nice.
It's be happy.
Oh, I love it. There you go.
And now when I say be happy, what I'm not trying to get across is that he made it a point that you had to be happy. It's not a falseness. It's not this idea that you have to pretend to be happy or put up a false sense of happiness. But a point that I remember he always made, and by always I mean about every month, was that happiness is outnumbered 3-1
Yes.
by fear, sadness, and anger. These are all of our pivotal emotions. And whereas fear can lead to sadness and sadness can lead to fear and so with anger, happiness is so important and so pivotal of an emotion because it is so positive and so enriching to us. So by saying that we should focus on the happiness, focus on the joy, it was a far better leadership tactic because it was helping us see where am I going?
I don't know, but I'm liking it. It's you're doing a great job.
That's why that was his brand. Was he would love to joke around and try to remain positive. He creates a very comfortable atmosphere for everyone. That's why he has so many allies in his network. So a question I had for the both of you is, who was someone in your life? Nate, no cheating. You can't say Marty.
Right, of course.
Who's someone in your life, maybe your professional life, who had an infectious energy, a positive energy that made you yourself want to feel the same way?
My current head of operations, right? He's a pretty serious guy, pretty, straightforward guy. However, he does a thing where just he's got different teams chats with his teams and everything. And every once in a while he'll send like a GIF of something genuinely funny or a little reaction. And so it's like we'll be in the middle of some pretty deep conversations, strategizing, staffing, planning, budget, whatever, and then he'll send just this dumb GIF, right? And it was the funniest thing because at first I was annoyed. Everybody who kind of knows me a little bit. I'm pretty no nonsense guy. When I'm doing business, I'm doing business. When I'm not, I'm not. right? And so it was like, I was like, "What are we doing, man?" Like, I'm talking about, like, I need a head count of 6. I didn't need a gif of, like, Mr. Peanut with his monocle, like, "Oh, 6, you say?" You know? But it was just that little bit of, like, joy and funniness that breaks up the workday that now, as I'm working with my team that reports to me, I've started incorporating that into it, just as a little bit of something to break up the workday. Because if you don't bring a little bit of joy, a little bit of silliness, a little bit of happiness to your day, it's just so easy to just get bogged down by the deadlines and the pressures and the stress and everything like that. So for me, that was just a really learning moment of something so simple as like a GIF that was, instantly annoyed me, but then I kind of laughed about it to me being like, okay, I need to start using this sort of thing in my daily life just to bring that little bit of joy, that little bit of happiness.
Yeah, absolutely. Breaking up the drudgery. That's beautiful. Uh, I find that so prescient in every environment I go into, that it's so necessary to just feel feel different from the stresses of the circumstances you're in, even for like a fleeting moment. Marty, do you have a figure in mind, someone whose infectious energy rubbed off on you?
I would have to go to my aunt. What I would call her Auntie Candy. And that was the person in my life that I think I've spoken about it before. We had gotten to the point, we had such a special relationship. And every time I walked in the room, she'd look at me, smile, and start laughing. And I go, "What's so funny?" She goes, "I don't know. You haven't said anything yet, but you're always making me laugh." Okay. So she was to me the ultimate cheerleader. She was that first person who just made sure I was always up. She saw that happiness in me and made me want to be happier. I made me want to always make her laugh because, she deserved it and she made me feel good about it.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that's an energy that we can very much attribute to Marty Jalove himself, where
Right.
because he is such a figure for jolliness, for happiness, and for enrichment, a lot of people are coaxed out of their shell almost. I
Right.
mean, I know you and I, Nate, we have our moments of being rather
Sullen.
intrusive. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
to ourselves. And I think Pop is one of those people who
Oh,
can bring the two of us out
Right.
of those shells, like, in many situations. So, that's just another reason why he's so good. I almost looked at a paper for Shaka
I
Zulu to see
saw
what my
that. I
next
was like,
notes
wait,
were.
I want to hear about this.
Yeah.
And so, Marty is credited with inventing the short spear.
Very exciting.
That Marty, he was always up to something.
You have any guess for your A, sir?
Oh, wow, wow. So my A. Um, Let me see. I'm gonna say I could go with awesome, but
Again, modest as always.
Yeah,
my A. Wow. All knowledgeable.
all knowledgeable.
Mm.
It's not the furthest off.
Let's
It's
see.
what Marty, I think, does that's so impressive on a business level is he accumulates interests.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah.
like it.
Always.
Marty
Nice.
Jalove,
Yeah.
he's a cartoonist, an
Yep.
author, an improviser. He's a Toastmaster, as you know. He's a member of Mensa, a patent holder, a mobile bar handyman. He created PVC musical instruments. I mean, the man does everything.
Yeah.
And I'm reminded, I follow this channel on YouTube. It's for film, and it's called Movie Wise. And he recently released a video that has stuck with me because I think about it and I think it applies to everything. He did a video about how referential of other movies modern movies are. He says, like, every movie is made in conversation with all of the movies that came before it, where it's like, dude, this is just like Taxi Driver.
Right.
And his argument was, if you want to be a modern filmmaker, the last thing you should study is film, because it flattens the art form you're putting out into the world, because you're just putting out pure movie. Whereas, as he brings up as an example, the much older directors, the your Billy Wilders, your Cecil B. DeMille's, they did not have those old movies to go back to, so they were
Right.
referencing the high arts, your opera, your theater, your literature. And how does this apply to business? I think you only threaten to shrink down the lessons you can learn if you only live in the space of your business. I think you need to branch out into these other areas to get an idea of what other things are like. And that's exactly what Marty did, because he went out into the world, he experienced new things, and he was able to bring those lessons back into his business and better his business because of it. Like, for example, he's a cartoonist. He loves doodling. He buys books to actively practice doodling, and he's able to use this in all kinds of things. He's able to use it advertising his machines, his stocks. He was able to sketch women in college to ask them on dates. But you see, like he can use them in everything. And I remember I was doing improv, no for no professional reason. I just wanted to do it, to try and pick up girls. And my
No
dad,
ulterior motive.
eventually, he joined after me because I think he saw what wonders it was doing for me at the time, and it ended up doing a lot for him. And he has gone on record, and you can talk about this in a moment,
Sure.
about why you think improv has helped you so much in your business life, and especially now that improv is such a large part of your work.
Right, right. All right. This is great. I'm loving this. This could go down as my favorite show. I just want to let you guys both know that, right?
No
Uh,
bias.
no, no, none whatsoever. So yeah, you're right. I remember that one time asking you, Luke, what you wanted to do during the summer because I wanted you to have an activity or something to do during the summer, and you brought up improv, and my initial reaction was, you trying to come up with something I can't find a class for you. And so I found improv class. You went to it, and before we started, I remember this so dearly of going, look, this is you're part of a team now. You're part of an improv team. And once you start this, you got to stick with it the entire time. And you went into it, you looked at it, you came back out, you were like, Dad, this is the best thing ever. You have to try this. And I said, all right, I'm going to try it. And I went in, and I'm going to be honest, I was so nervous. I was terrible. Everyone else knew each other. I was the stranger. I felt awkward. I came out and I said, there, I tried it. Never going to do it again. Right. I walked out and came and I saw you, and you were the first person. You were like, wasn't it the best? And you said to me, remember what you said, once you join, you can't quit. And I was like, great. All right. So it was perfect because I love the fact that you pushed me into it and I stuck with it, and we did it. And we did it for quite a few years, even to the point once you became over 18 and you joined kind
Yes.
of the adult team. And I'll still say you are my favorite person to do improv with. Okay. And I've done improv and I've seen improvists and I've seen teams work together. And I just think you bring the best out of people when you're on the stage.
Thank you.
Uh,
Yeah.
but how it ties to business, and I've realized this as there's never been any sales training I have ever taken that has been as strong and successful and instrumental as improv comedy. Improv comedy is very special. People who are very good at it have a quick wit. And in order to do improv comedy successfully, to be funny at improv comedy, you have to be able to quickly listen to what someone else is saying, analyze it, see it from multiple perspectives, understand the expected answer, and then find the unexpected answer. And quickly in your head, rate them to find what is the most humorous of the unexpected answers and be able to spit that out. And when people think of that, you explain improv like that, no one will ever want to do improv.
Mhm.
Okay. But it's the chosen few who get comfortable and get good at it. Once they can study that, can become better and better salespeople. And I think also better leaders, without a doubt. So I train salespeople and I work with a lot of businesses and where I introduce improv because it loosens people up. It helps different departments work together. They get to see each other. They get to see each other a little nervous outside of their comfort zone and depending on each other. So it's a great team building exercise, but it's an absolutely incredible sales training apparatus. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. And thank you for what you said about me being
Thank
your
for
favorite improviser you've ever worked with.
and thank you for pushing me into it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You're in my top five.
All right.
Uh,
Hey, that's fine. That's fine. I'm happy to be there. I would have been happy in the top 10. Yeah.
um, I guess we're running up close to the break, but I'll ask you a question, Nate, if you don't mind. Is there ever a moment in your life that you've had a skill in a skill set very foreign to your work, or maybe whatever you wanted to tell the story about, that came up, like something you put effort into that ended up paying off in a way you did not expect? And you can answer this however you want. It's an open-ended question.
Yeah. So where I kind of put effort into something, and it was an outcome different than what I expected it was going to be.
Sure. Yeah.
Really great question. I love
You
I
you
love
you
you and
throw
your
questions at
you and
him
your
like
father.
I do.
Yeah, you and your father have this real gift of
Throw the
going, hey,
question. It's like,
you know what?
what?
You know what Nate's not
No,
going to have an
okay.
answer to.
Okay. Let me
Yeah.
let me rephrase.
Right. Okay. All right.
What is a time that you've honed a skill maybe way in the past, or like learned something, and then it came up much later in your life in a very different circumstance, a vastly different circumstance, and you were like, "Well, I'm glad that I learned that, or I picked that up, or something like
It
that."
made you more successful because you knew this other thing, this
Yes.
unrelated thing.
Yeah. Ah, geez. I've got so many, so
So
so many
many.
examples
So
like
many
that.
well,
Yeah.
you're a man of many hobbies.
I'm a man of many hobbies. That's what people say. They see me go by, they go, "There goes Nate and his hobbies." Um, just a scenario. I'm trying to think. It's a difficult question to answer because throughout my life, I've always been pushing myself into leadership roles. I mean, at 9 years old, I was president of the 4-H club, right? And so it's one of those things where I've always found myself going to, but I can tell you, looking back at 9 years old when I was running to be 4-H president, I didn't think I was going to be, an operations manager leading a team of multiple people. I probably could have if I looked further forward, but I mean, at that point in time, I thought I was going to be a fireman, you know?
Okay.
And so it's just interesting to kind of look back on that, the path that I have, where even though I didn't always like I didn't envision myself as an adult in my career being in a leadership role. I've always sought after that. And so I've learned so much along the way. I mean, the next year I lost the election to a guy who had a better haircut than me. And like that was the cited source. Three
Oh,
people it was a 3-2 vote, and
that one
the
cuts
kid
deep.
said it was because his haircut was better. Right. But it's like just kind of preparing for that sort of thing and understanding that, even though you might think you're the most suited for a job, you might get passed over for it. And just kind of coming to terms with dealing with people and leading in that sense. It's always kind of been part of what I've done, but I never thought at that point that this is where I'd be now.
See, you intimated that you didn't have a good answer for that, but I actually think that was a great answer to the
Yes,
question.
I'm
Yeah.
agreeing. I'm going to tell you it's the bottom of the hour if you don't mind.
Yeah, I was about to
Okay.
Yeah.
segue to that.
We were gonna go about 30 seconds in true form.
All right,
Mhm.
there you go. All right. So thank you all so very much for staying tuned into 98.3 FM. This is going to be a surprise show, and so I can't wait for the next half an hour. In the meantime, please stay tuned. We're going to listen to a couple of the announcements from other shows and people who support the station. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Thank you so very much. Thank you for staying tuned in to 98.3 FM, The Life. You're listening to Bacon Bits with Master Happiness, and my show has been kind of hijacked. Every
Absolutely.
second Monday of the month, I have my boys in here, and we talk about some legendary leaders. We were going to talk about Shaka Khan, but instead we're talking about somebody else. So I'm gonna hand the camera back over to you, Luke.
Sure.
It's all up to you.
Did you-
Continue our conversation.
Now, real quick, did you say Shaka Khan on purpose? Or?
No, I did not. Oh, wow. And I was joking. We were going to talk about Shaka Zulu. And I swore, I bet you Nate is going to say Shaka Khan at least 5 times.
Yes.
And I did it. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank
I
you.
just had to call it out
Nice.
before the
There you
moment
go.
was gone.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you.
Anyway, so
Go
we're
back.
we're
Yeah.
going through the bacon of master happiness. This is, of course, the bacon for doing, not the bacon for chewing. These
Amen.
are these are things we can learn to motivate ourselves in our professional lives based on the work of our subject of the week. Our subject of the week, of course, Marty Jalove, Master Happiness.
Yes.
The one, the only.
We already went through B, which was attention.
Uh,
Wow.
be attentive.
And you
Be happy.
Be
Thank
happy.
you.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's why.
Yeah.
you think my role is so
You,
easy.
you think that when we were talking about him, he'd at least pay attention.
No, exactly.
No.
Oh, I get to play your role.
Yeah.
You just don't pay attention when I'm talking. So it's
And
oh,
you're
all
doing
right, there you
great.
go,
You're
there
doing
you go.
great. And
Yes,
your
yes.
A was accumulate
knowledge. Yeah, accumulate
interests,
interest.
but knowledge.
Right.
Yeah,
knowledge.
same
Yeah,
thing.
you're
Same
right.
thing. Same thing.
All right.
Just
Uh,
before we go too far, I will say that is the one thing that really stuck out to me when I first met Marty. I was like, man, he is always up to something, and it has
Yeah.
been. We're going on 4 to 8 years, depending on if you ask my
Yeah.
wife.
That's right.
And every time I talk to him, I'm like, "What have you been up to?" And he's like, "Oh, this and that," and I'm just like, he just never stops. He's an unstoppable machine of accumulating experiences and knowledge.
I like to consider myself a polymath. You know, I like to
Mm.
learn a little bit of everything.
Yeah,
Self-taught.
now we're saying words out of my reading group, so we're
That's
gonna
when,
keep right on moving.
He's like, I didn't know we were doing math.
Yeah.
That's what pirates learn in elementary school.
There you go.
That's right.
Anyway, for our C,
Yes.
You like that?
Wow. Yeah, yeah. I like a joke you got to think about. All right.
For C, I went with something. It has to do with your distinct style. Do you have a guess for your C?
Oh, I thought you were going to go with creativity, but I'm going to say colorful.
You don't. I want you to be clear.
Yeah.
You don't do those kinds of bacons anymore because you ran out of single
Yeah,
words
yeah,
long
exactly.
ago.
So I'm just still going to say I'm going to still lean towards colorful. It's charismatic. I'm a charismatic, colorful character.
I have catch their eye.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
catch their eye. Oh
nice.
You catch
man,
their eye, and we can see in your distinct
my style.
style,
Yeah, yeah. There you go.
and I think what the lesson to take away from why you wear such loud
Yep,
colors or present yourself so cartoonishly at times
yep,
is I think if you're in a market, especially a market that's oversaturated,
yep.
and in the age of the internet, it feels like almost everything is oversaturated. I think it's very important to define yourself with a unique, definite persona, and your persona is very defined.
Yes.
You're the silly guy. You've got the
I'm
Hawaiian shirts. You
the
got the
bacon
big.
guy, the Hawaiian guy, Mr. Sizzle. Yep, yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yeah, and
No, and I think it's so important because in the world of, online ads and everything like that, I'm on LinkedIn pretty regularly and nothing pops out of my feed like Marty Jalove's posts. And so I really would encourage everybody to, kind of look him up, follow him. He's always posting just really helpful tips and just little short videos to help with sales, help with business and all that. But I can tell you just in the dreary feed of like, oh, somebody got a promotion. Here's an ad for a conference we're going to, and then bam, there's Marty Jalove ready to just kind of give you a little bit of sizzle in the middle of your day.
wow.
yeah, absolutely. And do you want to comment for a second on was this the design from when you initially decided to start like dressing this way or acting this way in some of your social videos? Like, was this always the point, or do you feel like it was somewhat natural for you to step into that persona?
Well, those of you who know me before that, I used to always wear these colorful shirts, these wild shirts. I used to have all these shirts with flames on them and stuff like that. And then there was a point in time I thought, oh, I've got to get more business like. When I became a VP of sales, marketing, research and development for a place, I figured I had to dress more appropriate. But when I started my business, it was that moment of going to my first networking event, introducing a brand new business to a bunch of business people that I didn't know, that I said I could either dress like everybody else and just disappear, or I could do something to stand out. And at the heart of everything I teach people in marketing is the most important thing is to differentiate. Give them something to remember. Stand out among the crowd. And so I remember that first thing I reached in the closet, grabbed a Hawaiian shirt. And even then I kind of remember Christy, my wife saying, "That's what you're going to wear, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah, I've got to stand out. I've got to be different. This is the lesson I want to teach everybody." And when I did that and wore that into this, I found so many people walking up to me, talking to me about it, and it became an instant hit. I was right, and my gut told me it sounded like this was the right thing, and it proved to be. Even to this day, I just did some traveling to Dallas, and so many people walking by just stop and go, "Love the shirt. Tell me what does that mean? What's your bacon? What does that mean?" And asking me questions about this and realizing that all the other people who are dressing appropriately, right, with polo shirts and their little logo or a nice sports coat and stuff, nobody stops them. No one asks them anything. And probably the coolest thing was when I'm wearing a shirt like this, getting on the plane, flying home, somebody in first class just kind of grabbed my arm. This woman grabbed my arm and stopped me. And she goes, "I don't know what it is about your shirt, but it just makes me smile."
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah. And I was like, perfect. I go, that's exactly what it's supposed to do.
And here's the thing that you've really capitalized on, and I think where it's easy to kind of get lost in this is you back it up with facts and good tips
Yeah.
and everything like
Thank you.
yes,
that. And
yes.
so
Thank you.
like that's the biggest thing is you're not a guy in a wacky shirt who then people start talking to you and 3 minutes into the conversation like, man, I really wish I hadn't asked this dude about his shirt. There are 3 minutes into the conversation going, I want to hear about what this guy has to say, you know? And so I think that's the biggest thing. And then what you've put so much work into is you've got just enough to stand out. And I'm trying to think what salesman it was, but it was somebody where you differentiate yourself just enough. I think it's Purple Cow,
Yep.
something like
Seth
that, where it's
Godin.
like
Yeah.
just enough to stand out, but then you have just rock solid facts that people go, this dude knows what he's talking about,
Sure.
and I want to hear what he has to say.
Yeah. I think the important thing is uh, it's easy to get in the door All right, but what are you bringing that's going to get you to stay there?
Yes.
That's an
Right.
important lesson.
Absolutely. And the other thing on top of, being wise, is I feel like a lot of people are afraid to be goofy.
Yes.
And I honestly I thought it over while I was writing this. I think
Yeah.
it is a pretty reasonable fear because
Yeah.
I think on top of what you said, where I think you need to back up what you're doing beyond the goofiness, I think you need to be sincere.
Right.
Yes.
So it's hard to just say to people, "Oh, you should be goofy in your life," because a lot of people are not that way. They don't think that way.
Right. Right.
But a sincerity behind it to be like, "This is the stuff I find funny, but also, I am doing this to amuse you, and I'm a little self-aware." That is a very fine line to walk.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think you do that.
Yeah.
Well,
I
thank
think it's
you.
great.
Thank you.
And a question I had within the catch their eye section, I was curious if there's ever been a brand or a business that you guys noticed that sort of did something goofy or loud or like in some contexts what could be seen as unprofessional, but for you at least it caught your eye and it maybe even gained your respect. Do either of you have a
Yeah,
business
I'm
like
going
that?
to jump into one more currently. I love the fact. First off, I was when as you're asking the question, I'm thinking of all kinds of cereal brands
Mm.
because they're pointing towards kids. But more recently, the past few years, I love what Kentucky Fried Chicken does by getting professional comedians to dress up as the Colonel, and it becomes almost a game to look at the commercials. They're more tongue-in-cheek comedy, but then you look at the commercial. Wait, who is that guy? And I think there's something of not taking themselves so seriously. So Kentucky Fried Chicken is the first one that pops into my head like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Nate, did you have any?
I mean, I'm a sucker for Limu and Doug of
Oh,
Liberty
yeah.
Mutual. I
Oh
mean, how
yeah,
can you not?
I
How can
agree.
you? First of all, I've been trying to get a pet emu because in Wisconsin, I believe with some slight certification, you can have one.
Mhm.
And
I love it.
my wife, your daughter, who's deathly afraid of birds, has
Would the
absolutely vetoed.
really?
I mean, we got the backyard for
That's
it. It's a
barely a bird.
fenced-in
It's barely a
backyard, right?
bird.
It's
It's
pretty much a
barely a bird.
dinosaur,
Right,
but
exactly.
no, but I mean, like, Geico tries to be a little silly with the
Yeah,
commercials, but honestly, like, how many times are you gonna have a lizard walk around
I
before
think.
people are like, we
Yeah,
get it. He's a lizard. Like, we don't care. Meanwhile, you've got an emu parachuting into places,
yeah,
and it's
yeah.
just like, I like what they got going on. I'm always excited when I see a Liberty Mutual commercial come out.
You know what Liberty Mutual commercial I think is subtly genius in this respect? Do you remember the Liberty Bibberty commercial? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that commercial is genius because it shows that they're not taking themselves too seriously
Right.
because they're willing to play on the brand name. But also, I don't know about you guys, that's stuck in my head.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, 'cause
I
it
think
rhymes. It's easy to
Right.
go. Liberty,
yes.
Liberty.
And then
Right.
I think about Liberty Mutual, this
Sure,
this
sure.
brand that I didn't have much association with before that ad. I'm thinking about them all the time.
Right. And they're huge. I mean, Liberty
Yes.
Mutual is huge as far as insurance companies go, and so
And
it's just
and you wouldn't think someplace that's that big would dare to do something silly.
right.
Okay.
Right.
You go to the Dollar Shave Club, the first ever episode, the commercial they did was hilarious because they were just poking fun at themselves.
Mhm.
Okay. But I really like how you brought up the insurance companies because think about it. Like you guys brought up Geico. The Gecko is their long holding one. But before that, didn't Geico do, it's easy enough, like if you could be as smart as a caveman.
Yes, the
Okay.
caveman, yeah.
And they used to do mock commercials that would turn into an insurance commercial. So they were really genius. I just think over time they've gotten lazy and they've just stuck with the Gecko.
I
Yeah.
would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's less spice. I'm less excited to see a Geico commercial than I am a Liberty Mutual. Like, I'm like, what are they up to? What are Limu and Doug up to these days? I want to know.
And such is the unfortunate waltz of time. where Counterculture becomes culture.
Yeah.
Yes.
Culture goes out the window. We're going moving on to the O.
Yes.
Oh, do you have a?
I was going to go with, are you going to say old?
We prefer seasoned.
There you go. I
Yeah.
like that better.
Baxon.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, I'm trying to go along with what you're
I've
saying.
discovered that you're not great at this game.
Not at all.
Yeah, the
Well,
game-
especially if it's not about what it's about me.
The game
I'm gonna
he
go-
has invented.
Yeah.
that
Yes,
we play each
exactly.
week.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm awful at it from this end. I'm a better narrator. What is O? What is O?
I
Lee?
have own the room.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Absolutely.
man.
And, I think there are many instances where he owns the room in a professional context. Literally, an improv teacher, when you do Toastmasters, you're giving a speech.
Yes.
If you're not owning the room, you're doing something wrong.
Yes. Yes.
And, in your professional life, there are many situations like that. But what sticks out to me, because I'm related to you,
Yes.
I always think about at the family parties when we were growing up,
Okay.
when you would come up with or bring a game
Okay.
to the party. And it would always get everyone involved. They wouldn't always be happy to do it.
Mm.
To this day,
To this day, it's reluctantly parading outside
Right,
to play
right.
Marty's game.
to this day, spam Jello is
Yeah.
the most disgusting thing I've ever tasted. And you should be glad you don't know what that is, Nate.
Mm.
But
Nate's
I
young. He'll know.
I have I have sort of taken this from you, sort of instinctively, because I do this a lot with the people in my friend group. I MC a lot of stuff, and what I think you learned is the same thing I'm starting to learn. Is where I think MCing a situation like that, a low stakes family event where it's just a good time, is a great way to get used to what a leadership position is like, because
Wow, that's pretty cool.
there have
Yeah.
been situations where I have been pushed into a leadership role at my job and my career, and I've had to make decisions really quickly. And I think doing those emceeing positions, and again in low stakes environments, was completely necessary for my development in that area, because it gets you so used to like settling small disputes, to being like, okay, who am I doing this for? I have to pay attention to everybody.
Right.
And
Right.
would you say that that has helped you at all, being the sort of ringleader at functions like this?
I think it continues. It goes back and forth. I think being a leader and practicing things in front of people, leading people, helps me become a better MC, and being an MC helps me become a better leader. I think being a father, working with kids, and kind of, because as your kids grow, they change. So you have to adapt your leadership skills with your kids. So I think everything, if you really pay attention, everything you do in one area helps you with something else, which goes back to one of your earlier letters. So, yeah, I would say being in front of a group like that completely helps you.
I
One of the things, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, no.
One of the
It's
things,
your show.
thank you.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think today it's my
your
show.
it's your show dedicated to you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
speak.
But one of the most important things about leadership is being able to influence, to understand. And being an MC, you are influencing the entire crowd. You're pushing them in one direction. You're trying to get them together and move in one area. So yes, you practice one thing, it helps you with another.
I think what just kind of piggybacking off of that, right? When you're in the role, sometimes in your career or whatever, you've been appointed a position. Um, People somewhat have to listen to what you have to say just because you are the boss,
Right.
right? But when you think about like a family gathering or something, and I can think of, the events where it's been a group of us out and about, and Marty's trying to pitch an idea and get everybody to sway along, is when it is not in a situation where people have to listen to you, learning how to influence them and get them to listen to you can then translate, because then you learn how to like catch your attention. I mean, Marty's brothers are, a bit of an unruly bunch at times, and so being able to wrangle his brothers and his nephews and his sons and everything, and get us all to agree to do whatever idea or scheme he has come up with takes a lot more. So when you can kind of influence a room where people don't have to listen to you or respect
Mhm.
you, then you can find ways to motivate the people who do, so that it's less of them listening to you because you're their boss, but more of them listening to you because they want to listen to you, and like just kind of really work learning how to influence people.
And I actually have a perfect point to note off of that, is that I think there is one particular thing that I picked up from you that I think is so key to learning this skill of owning a room and keeping a group invested in you. And I remember growing up, you had these like I always had an idea of who the family members were. And growing up, I think I realized it was because you kind of defined them to me. You were like,
Okay.
"Oh, AJ, come on, you're an ox," or like, "Oh, Joe, come on, you'll do anything," or "Dan, get over here." And what you were doing there is actually, I think, an amazing thing, because You were valuing their participation
Okay.
by signaling them out by saying, "Oh, everyone, oh, group, notice this person in this moment. It's not all about me. It's about this person in this moment, and it's about this person in this moment." And I think that's key as well to business is that people will value your leadership when you value their participation.
And their individuality and what they bring to the
Yes,
team. 100%.
absolutely. Now we are getting closer to the end, so I'll just really
Yeah.
quickly go into our N.
This is
Can you get one?
I
I'll
don't
give you the first two. I'll give you
uh,
the first two words. You have to get the third.
all right, what's the first word?
Never stop.
Learning.
Yes.
There you go.
Excellent. Look at him
Awesome.
go.
Nice. Woohoo.
Woo.
I win a cookie.
Yes.
Yeah.
I notice this all the time when I spend time with you. You're always on some new topic. You're saying, "What's a new classic I can learn about? Who's
Yeah.
a new author I can read? What's a new philosophy I can look into?" And I think that's so important because to some extent, I think your IQ is like the one thing you should never be satisfied with.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
agree.
Yes, in the sense that there's always more to like
So much.
learn. There's
So
always
much.
stuff you are never going to experience because of the life you lead. So it's just so important to keep experiencing stuff. And in many ways, I think you've done a great thing with Bacon Bits, but for this development for yourself and for us, because now that you've made it this profile show almost, where we're going each episode and we're saying like, here's a person from history, here's a person from business. You are also expanding yourself to like, oh, what was this person's mindset? What kind of person was this in their life? And I think that's been so indicative of your mindset when it comes to just learning more and expanding your mind. So, in the spirit of that, what's a new like topic of interest or research that
Wow.
you may not
Wow.
have gotten a chance to talk to anyone about?
Actually, I'm going to tell you, I think I might have mentioned a little bit to you is I'm in the midst of my next book, my seventh book. Okay. And the book is on time management based on personality type.
Mm.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I study a lot about time management because I want to get so much done and I always feel like I'm procrastinating or I'm distracted. So I'm always trying to find a better way to keep track of my time. And I realize some time management techniques don't work for me as much as they work for someone else. And then once you start realizing, well, my personality is different, the way I attack the world is different. And so I've really doing a deep dive into personality and how it relates directly to time management, something really specific.
Out of curiosity,
Yeah.
how should me and Nate time manage just by like quick draw?
Yeah, just what you know about us.
Yeah.
All right. So out of the two of you, I'm going to say this is that Nate has got to learn to block time, do time blocking.
Yeah.
He's got to break this whole thing out. I think that Nate spends so much time in the evenings doing this. What he's got to do is block certain times and be able to actually say to yourself, I'm going to take these blocks of time and not answer my phone.
Yeah.
And I know it's really difficult because I admire your commitment to it, but I think you've got to block sometimes and say, I want to do these other things because I never want you to rob yourself of some of the other joys you have in life. All right, that's the first thing there. I think, Luke, based on what I know about you and how you've grown, is don't relax, it doesn't hurt. Is this whole thing? I want you to focus on something. So I have this thing called the 5 T's, where you concentrate on something you want to try, something you really want in the future. Okay, and so what you do is you list all the things you have to do. Okay, it's kind of like the Eisenhower matrix. Okay, but once you measure what you want to
The
try,
Eisenhower.
yeah,
We're all fluent in the
exactly.
Eisenhower measures, yeah.
Right, right.
That's a casual Saturday
Yeah,
read.
exactly. But once you write down all the things you want to try in life, right? That you really want to do, but you always say, I don't have time to do that. Then make the list of the things you're going to do and put things in there that you're going to tackle. Okay. The things I have to do right now, they're important and they're urgent. Things that I can table, things that I'm still going to get to. I'm going to put them on the table. I'm not hiding them away, but I'm going to postpone them till later. Things that you can teach other people to do, okay, to get them off your plate completely, which I'm always trying to teach you to do something, and then lastly, if it doesn't fit into any of those, toss it.
Mhm.
That's the other thing. Get rid of it. If it's something you say, but I don't want to toss it, but it doesn't fit in those buckets, then you have to put it into that try bucket. You have
Mhm.
to go to the beginning and put it back in there. And if you're like, but then I don't have any time to do it, that's because these other things are more important.
Yeah.
So I think that's the direction I need you to head into. Whereas Nate is going to be more of a time block.
And I'm sorry, I think I just missed one because I'm counting 4. It was try, table,
No,
toss,
try, tackle,
tackle. Gotcha.
table, teach,
Teach.
and toss. There you go.
Very good. All right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll try to consider that.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we're coming up on the evening hour of our
Yes,
show,
we
my
are.
friends.
Wow.
I did not think I was really worried that I was gonna like get done with all of my material at maybe 6:38. I gotta say.
Wow. Now you know how I feel every
Yeah.
show, right? Especially when you said you're going to talk about me. I'm like, we're not making it to the
Yeah.
bottom of the hour.
But no, we found stuff to talk
Oh my
about.
God.
No,
Yeah. It's
absolutely,
beautiful.
absolutely.
And if you ever need to fill space, you just throw Marty the mic.
Yes,
Yeah.
and
Easy.
did I?
Yeah. Oh.
Well,
But
now I know my replacement. If I can't make the show, I'm just
yeah,
gonna have
Nate.
I'm gonna
Right. Yeah. I'll be here.
perfect.
Yeah. It'll
Perfect.
be about 15 minutes.
Nice.
All right. So, what are we thinking next month? Shaka Zulu.
You want to try Shaka Zulu?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I mean,
Shaka Khan.
you've
So
got
go
this
ahead.
whole.
You still got the camera and the mic. You introduced the next month's show.
All right. So for next month, join us here again on the second Monday of every month, where for Bacon Bits we do the Legends in Leadership. We are actually going to do Shaka Zulu. I caught myself.
That's right.
I caught
Oh,
myself.
wow, that was good.
I almost said it.
That
I
was
almost
good.
said Shaka Khan. We are actually going to do Shaka Zulu, the fantastic figure from history, and we're going to learn all about him, all about his war tactics, his life, and what we can learn about him in a professional context. Boys, do you have any parting
Anything
words?
closing from you, Nate?
I got to say, it's just been so great for me as a young leader. And I really appreciate all the conversations that have happened both on this show, after this show, before the show. I mean, even just talking, coming over this summer and building the deck with me. I've got a lot of stuff that I have learned talking with Marty, and I'm excited to continue to just grow and learn with him. And I gotta say, like when he pitched this idea for this series, I could not have been more excited. I like talking about sales. I think it's important for me to understand sales, and I think it's important for everybody to understand sales. But this season about you know great leaders has just been super exciting for me. So I just really appreciate everything that you've taught me, and look forward to what you're going to continue to teach me going forward.
Thank you. Thank you. Now I'm
And
gonna
happy birthday.
thank you.
happy
Oh, thank you.
birthday.
Thank
Happy
you. All right,
birthday.
I'm going to take the show back for a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So
Go
first
ahead.
off, I want to thank both of you. There is the most joyous time for me is this second week of every month when I get a chance to talk to you, both of you guys, because you're genuinely here. You both want to be here. You're not here out of obligation or anything. And the fact that you both say that you could actually learn something from me, there's no greater joy a guy can have than his children saying that. So I truly appreciate that. And you guys got close to tearing me up, but you didn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get you.
Yeah.
Good night, he's young.
Exactly. So thank you guys so very much. And thank you for so much for tuning in. If you missed any of today's episode, good for you. you can you can listen to the recording on Bacon Bits with Master Happiness anywhere you listen to podcasts. Now I understand a lot of the questions you've been asking me all day.
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
with that, thank you so very much. Thank you all so very much for everything. And stay tuned to Bacon Bits every Monday. We'll be back next week. It's our regular 7 o'clock. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you, everybody.